Hello dear students, today our topic is the stock markets, part 2. This lesson is for the first year students of economic faculty, lesson 17, presented by Ergasha Dilarom Kadarkhanova. Activities of our lessons are speaking activity, listening tasks, writing, the graph description, reading for detail, dealing with figures, exercises for matching vocabulary and phrases. Let's begin with warming up. Look at the line graph below. What does it show? What other types of graphs do you know? So, in this graph you can see the change of share price beginning from January till December. Right now let's read the graph description. Read the description of the graph and mark sentences as true or false. Here you can see the description. Please read it. And here you can see the sentences which should be marked as true or false. Next activity is vocabulary exercise. Here you can see causes and effects which are used while giving the description of graphs. For example, here you can see the effects which can be caused by some reasons. Let's take the first one. Sales of soft drink increased by 22% last month. What is the reason? The reason is because of a heat wave. You know that when the days get warmer or hotter, sales of soft drinks increase significantly. Please try to find other effects and causes. One more vocabulary exercise. Complete the sentences with a pair of items. The items may not be in the same order. For example, decline, be stagnant, fall, rise, shoot up, drop, fluctuate, remain stable. Let's take this one, fluctuate and remain stable. So, if sales remain stable, they don't go up and down very much. If sales fluctuate, they go up and down a lot. So please do this activity. Next one is activity for matching. For example, first, sales rose considerably. What can we choose from here? Sales rose a lot. Right now, you will have reading activity. Read the information about the 5 companies and add any other opportunities or threats they mention to the table below. So, let's begin reading and then we shall come back to this table. Here you can see the text about 5 companies. In this page, you can find information only about 2 companies. Please read. Here you can see other 3 companies. So after finishing reading, please fill in this table. You should try to write other opportunities or threats which were mentioned in the text, and then you should decide which companies you are going to invest. For example, just imagine that you have $5,000 to spend and you should buy the shares of these companies. The shares in the 5 companies are currently worth $100. And right now you should decide in which companies you should invest your money. Alright, if you decided in which company you will invest your money, let's begin listening practice, where you can find further information about these 5 companies. So let's take listening number 1.
So, dear students, now listen to an economic report and decide whether you would like to swap any of the shares you have for other shares.
Economic Report 1.
Oil prices hit an all-time high today. A barrel of oil was up 0.9 US dollars on yesterday at 80 US dollars. Analysts say the price could go even higher if the terrorist attacks on oil refineries in the Middle East continue. Intel announced it will be introducing a new generation of processors next month. A spokesman for Intel said the new chips will cost under 100 US dollars. The EU has announced that it will tighten controls of imported food. Many consumer groups are unhappy that a lot of processed food contains genetically manipulated ingredients. Tropical storms in Kenya have destroyed many of the country's crops this year. Tea and coffee exports could be as much as 80% down on last year.
So, I hope you decided whether you would like to swap any of the shares you have for other shares. And right now, let's listen to a second report and decide whether you would like to make any further swap.
Economic Report 2.
BP Amoco, Britain's largest oil company, announced it has found a large oil field 30 kilometers from the Faroes. A spokesman for the company says the field could contain enough oil and gas to cover Britain's energy needs for the next 25 to 30 years. The German government announced it will drop road tax for emission-free cars and lorries next year. Mr. Bronling, the new German environment minister, says the government hopes that 1 in 20 cars will be emission-free within the next 7 to 10 years. The authorities in many larger German cities have also announced that they plan to introduce a ban on petrol and diesel vehicles if ozone levels go above 100 milligrams per cubic meter. India today announced they would subsidize genetically manipulated crops. They say such crops will help to stop food shortages. Last year, heavy rain and flooding destroyed a lot of crops in central and southern India. China could soon become the world's largest chip producer. At the moment, the Chinese semiconductor industry only produces about 10% of the chips used in Chinese computers. But the government says it will increase its financial support to the industry significantly. Consumers in North America and Europe are worried about a new World Health Organization report that up to 60% of tea and coffee that is imported contains the dangerous pesticide endosulfan.
Well, students, would you like to make any further swap? Right now, listen to an interview with stock market analyst Sarah Johnson and find out how much your shares are worth and why.
Part 1. So, Sarah, can gas shares have increased to 110 euros this week? BP Amoco's announcement hasn't affected CAN Gas's share price. Why is that?
Well, David, you can only transport gas in large quantities if you have a pipeline. So the discovery of a large gas field in the UK won't affect the gas supply in Canada.
Okay, I see. Part 2.
How are Cyberchip shares doing?
There's not much change there either, Sarah. Investors are waiting to see if Cyberchip can raise the money to finance the new production plant. If they can, the share price will probably rise significantly. But at the moment, they are trading at 120 euros. Part 3. I see the Brazilian coffee producer Feijão Pertush is doing very well.
Yes, David. A lot of consumers are worried about the reports on endorsulfan and have switched to organic coffee brands. Feijão Pertush share price is up by 10 euros to 150 euros.
Part 4. GeneZap's share price is also up 5 euros on last week.
Yes, but there's a lot of speculation there. It's still not clear if the Indian government will pay subsidies on genetically manipulated seed that is imported, or if they will use the money to support local biotech companies. At the moment, GeneZap's share price is 110 euros, but it could shoot up if the Indian government announces it will also subsidize imported seed.
Part 5. Finally, Sarah, what about zero-emission cars' share price?
They are doing very well at the moment. They are up 25 euros on last week at 175 euros. Analysts think the market share for emission-free vehicles in Germany will double in the next 12 to 18 months. It will take the big car producers at least 3 to 4 years to introduce emission-free cars. So shares in companies like ZEC are in great demand at the moment.
So students, you have found an information about how much your shares are worth now and why. That was a good chance to check your business strategy. I hope you made right decisions out of this activity. So that was the last task, and right now you have your homework. Write a short report describing the share price of Rexford from January to June over last year. This company manufactures outdoor clothing. Use the graph below. So our lesson is over. Thank you for your attention. See you on my next lessons.